Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Care Sandwich. I have Brett Steinberg today, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself. But Brett is a personal injury attorney, and I am excited to interview him and ask him a bunch of questions. He's definitely a trailblazer in his field. So, Brett, tell us about yourself. What do you do? Where are you located? Tell us about you.
Yeah, thank you, Margarita, and thank you so much for having me on your podcast. It's good to be here. As you said, my name is Brett Steinberg. I am an attorney in South Florida. I'm located in Delray Beach. We practice primarily plaintiff's personal injury. I've been on my own and have my own law firm for just about 11 years. And, we serve people who are injured in all types of accidents. And I've been doing this type of work for over 15 years and practicing law for over 20. So that's a bit about me.
So tell us your story. How did you become a law firm owner over a decade ago? What made you decide to put your name on the door and do this thing?
So sometimes when I speak to people who go off on their own, have a really difficult decision. Maybe they're making a fair amount of money, and it's hard, but they also feel like they're constrained, and then they'll never be as successful as they want to be working for somebody. And that was a small part of my picture, but my prior law firm that I worked for doing personal injury just made the decision easy. I was working hard. I was bringing a lot of cases in on my own, and I didn't feel like I was being fairly compensated for that. And so a lot of thought and decision making went into that. And I feel as though I'm able to do things the way I want to do them. I'm serving people the way I want to serve them, and I'm not having to ask anyone permission. And I feel really good about the law firm I've created in the process of doing that.
Congratulations, because you're in a very competitive space, and the feeling that you just described, I've actually heard it from other law firm owners that have launched their own PI firm. And I bet you there are people out there, maybe some listening to this podcast, that are experiencing it right now. What would you advise them if they were thinking about going off on their own? How easy is it? How difficult is it? What should they know? What should they take into account as they figure out and weigh the decision?
I mean, first and foremost, do you want to do this? I mean, it depends on what kind of law firm and where you are. As you stated, I'm in South Florida. I'm in a very, very competitive market for personal injury. So, I mean, the first question you have to ask yourself is, do I want to do this? And how do I plan on grabbing some market share of an already, very populated space? So that's the first thing you want to consider. Once you've decided to do it, I mean, picking out the software that you want to use, what's your client management software. I always recommend, some people don't use that, and I think that's a poor decision because it helps keep you organized and better serve your clients and keeps things in the same place. So picking out a client management software, perhaps maybe seeing if you can set up yourself working from home with some sort of a temporary office space to meet clients until you've gotten some revenue. In that vein, I really think it's important that somebody can live off of what they have saved for 6 months. You really need to expect to not make any money the first 6 months. So there's some advice. I mean,
that's really great advice.
Thanks.
I can't tell you how many law firm owners that are brand new that are thinking, oh, I'm going to do personal injury because there's so much money in that space, but they don't realize it's expensive. And to create an infrastructure, I mean, marketing wise, it's expensive. And then to create an infrastructure for your firm so you can actually scale and manage cases and not miss important deadlines does require an investment of time and also money. So I think that's really, really wise advice. So Brett, tell us a little bit more about how you take care of injured folks that come to you and your law firm for help.
Yeah, so we offer all sorts of options for people to come in once they found us and decided that they want to hire us. I mean, we have intake software that's very thorough and it's automated, and so we're able to send out documents and get things back electronically. whether it's DocuSign, we're switching over to another platform, but we really make sure that someone always speaks to an attorney. I can't tell you how many, especially here in South Florida at the bigger law firms, I can't tell you how many people call us that they're unhappy with their current law firm because they've only spoken to paralegals or somebody in the intake department. A lawyer hasn't called them. We make sure that the first call, whether it's on the first call or within the same day, that myself or my associate get on the phone and answer any questions, because people want to speak to an attorney when they hire a law firm. Intake managers, paralegals, assistants, they're great, but they have a different level of knowledge and of understanding and a way of explaining things to new clients that other staff don't. So I take pride in the fact that, like, when we onboard a new client, that they understand the process, they understand what to expect, and they know that we're here for them and that we have multiple ways of communicating with them.
So, Brett, what you just described sounds amazing, and it sounds like you put a lot of value into the quality of the service that you provide. However, to play devil's advocate, I can see why other firms might not use the high skill folks' time as much in their firm to probably cut costs. How do you balance that intention that you have of giving folks the best possible experience and expertise in their case with maintaining a profitable practice where you're setting up healthy profit margins and setting yourself up to scale?
Sure, that's a great question. I mean, I currently I have one associate. We're actually he's running my pre-litigation department. In the next 6 months, we're going to be hiring a litigation attorney, and so Josh, my associate, just along with just running the pre-litigation department, does most of our intakes. And so I've trained Josh to answer all those questions and go through everything. So it isn't typically me. When people want to talk to me, I make myself available. And honestly, if Josh is on an intake and somebody else can't take it, I jump on intakes. I don't run a tremendous practice. I'm not a volume practice. We take good cases and we get the best value in those cases. So we're still profitable, and it is tough because sometimes you do have to pull yourself away. But my trick is having staff that are trained to and attorneys that are trained to answer the questions that I'm also able to answer without me having to, get myself involved in that process unless absolutely necessary.
That's amazing. And yeah, I think as a marketer, I've learned to appreciate the difference between two types of big firms. There are small firms that handle big cases and do it really well. That's what they specialize in. And then there are big firms that do the volume and the marketing and that have the machine set up for volume. A lot of, soft tissue cases that are just paperwork and things like that. So I definitely respect that. Brett, tell me a story about a transformation that you were a part of for one of your clients, somebody that came to you for help. Tell us their story. How did you help them? How did you transform a negative experience into something that was something that they overcame and survived thanks to you and your team?
Yeah, I could describe, I could bunch a bunch of clients into that story, right? Like I handle difficult cases sometimes. I handle premises liability cases are the toughest types of cases we handle. And we have people who come in here and they have really bad injuries. They've got a broken leg, or they need back surgery, or there's bad things that have happened to them, and the insurance company has denied their claim. They've come in and they've said, we will get literally the most simple letters from insurance companies. We've done a thorough investigation and we've decided this is a claim that we're not paying on due to liability. They don't really give any good reason. And so what I'm proud of that what we do and the transformation is that we have these clients that come in. There's been several of them that have a tough case, and the insurance company has stonewalled them and said we're not paying, and they don't really give a reason. And I feel good about the fact that we litigate. I do most of the litigation now, which is why I'm bringing another attorney. And I've been very successful at taking the right depositions, at developing the right theories of liability to, I have one occasion, I remember they offered zero and we ended up settling the case for $250,000. So the transformation is really looking at an insurance company and thinking, why are they denying this claim? What's wrong with it? And how can we show that they've done something wrong? And for me, that's powerful. It's a powerful tool because it's taken me years to develop it, but I enjoy it. And I enjoy taking that case from what looks like a zero value to a multi six-figure value, sometimes seven. So I think that's, kind of the transformations we've seen.
Do you have a unique process or maybe a set of questions that helps you arrive at that data, or how do you figure that out? Like, how do you do the proper research to figure out what your angle is going to be for the case?
Sure. I mean, we handle negligence cases, and negligence really has three components. It's just liability, causation, and damages, right? And so liability is like, what did the other entity do wrong? Damages is how hurt or injured you are, and did this accident cause those injuries? Those are the three factors we need to prove. In a trip and fall, slip and fall case, we're almost always dealing with a liability contention. We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't know there was a problem, and so that's a big component of liability, right? Did they know there was something broken or something wrong that they needed to fix? I request documents, maintenance records, repair records, invoices, things like that. I take depositions of crucial employees, maybe not even crucial employees, and so it's all about figuring out, what do I need to prove, how do I need to prove it, whose deposition do I need to take, what discovery do I need to get out. Every case is different, but I can tell you in those tough premises liability cases, those slip and trip and fall cases, it's all about seeing ahead to what their defenses are going to be. Because I'm a former defense attorney. I did insurance defense for a little while before I did this other side of the table. So I think another big component is just like in football, right? The best offense is a good defense. So that's another way I'm really good at figuring it out, because I always think to myself, how would I defend it? And now that I know how I defend it, how am I going to pick that apart?
Gotcha. Yeah, you know how the other side thinks. And that's so valuable. Brett, what kind of cases, just give us a rundown, would you love for other attorneys to refer to you? And then what is that process like for other attorneys that are listening to this and are thinking, you know what, that's the kind of guy that I'm going to refer my personal injury cases to?
Well, we all know that attorneys typically get and expect a referral fee. And we pay those referral fees gladly. And so to incentivize others listening to this and others out there to refer me cases is to know that we do get excellent results, because we don't just settle cases for whatever amount the insurance companies decided they think a case is worth. That's not how we operate. We litigate cases, we push hard, and we get the good results on the tough cases. So what I can say to any attorney contemplating sending a case to Steinberg Law is, listen, we work a case hard. We don't refer it out when the times get rough. We just work harder, and we work cases harder. So why does that matter? Because if you're having an attorney maximize the value of the case, your referral fee is going to be that much more significant.
Right. And what's the process to refer you a case?
The process to refer me cases, there's several processes. We've got Lead Docket. It's one of our software platforms, and we can get any of our referral partners on that software, and they can literally fill that out, tell us what we're looking at, and they can track it, and we can track it, and then we can onboard that. I get text messages from other colleagues, emails, there's all sorts of ways we do that, but we also have a system of tracking it. We use FileVine for our client management software. I'm plugging all sorts of other software here. And, with that process, we always note our file as to who sent us the case. And we do try to provide updates on a regular basis, maybe quarterly, what's going on, what step we're at. So, not only do we do a really nice job of onboarding it, but we do continue that communication with our referral partners.
That's great. So just to recap, if I refer you a case as an attorney, I can actually track the progress, and you'll be proactive about giving me those updates, and I'll get a nice generous referral fee at the end of the case.
That is 100% accurate. Yeah, that's 100% accurate. Well, and I'll tell you something I do, and maybe this is just me as a personal touch, but it's also it works. Is that a lot of people just mail out referral checks, and I get referral checks on my desk, and it's nice. But when someone refers me a case and it's a substantial, at least a nice recovery, and they have a big check coming, typically take that person to dinner, or I take them for drinks, or I take them somewhere nice, and I hand them the check in person. And I've had various people come up to me and say, Brett, no one does that. The fact that you appreciate so much to not just write a check and send it in the mail, but you actually take me out to dinner or spend time. It leaves an impact in them, and it's not just something I do for the sake of it. It's because I really do want that referral partner to feel special and feel like they've done something good, and that I appreciate their business. And people like that, and people recognize that.
That's wonderful. And I bet you enjoy building the relationship to begin with. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't do all of that.
Yeah, no, I'm a relationship person. I mean, a lot of my cases that I get referred to me are just from people I've worked with. I have one of my good referral sources is an attorney who was my boss, probably 15 years ago now, and it's just so flattering to have somebody I worked for a number of years have so much faith in my abilities that he sends me business now. So it's a big
And
compliment.
life and business are a lot more gratifying. I think personally, I can relate to that. I think it's important to slow down sometimes and do those types of things. Yes, it's a strategy, but it's fun, right?
Yeah, yeah. I enjoy the human interaction aspect of it. My friends and my wife kind of like laugh. They're like, you never slow down. I'm just turned 47 last week, and I still act and feel like I'm in my 20s. I'm always running around, shaking hands, kissing babies, networking, meeting with people.
Yeah.
In this business, it's all about making relationships, but you can't just make a relationship. You got to maintain a relationship. And that's tough because we're all busy running around, but I love it. I love the human interaction part of it. And some people with that referral fee, I've talked to other lawyers like, oh man, I got to pay a referral fee on this case. And I say, that's silly to have that attitude, because you wouldn't have that case if it weren't for that other attorney. And you must thank them. And you must make them feel important. Otherwise, they're not going to continue sending it to you because there's plenty of other attorneys they could send that business to.
I love that. So one of the best tips that I got years ago I work with a mindset coach. I think mindset is important. And she blew my mind when she said, Margarita, every time that you pay a bill for your business, run payroll, do it with joy. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And not to be hokey, but like I do pause and just take in a moment of gratitude, like, thanks to this amazing team, I'm able to have this business. And the energy that I put into those payments, whether it's a referral fee, because we have a referral program as well, or a payroll, or even a bill, right? I'm getting ready to lease an office, and I'm already envisioning how fun it's going to be to cut that deposit and invest in that and do all those things. And yeah, I really do feel like, again, not to be hokey, but I really do feel like it adds a lot to your life and to your business. And yes, the
150%.
growing business is great, but it's just more fun.
Yeah, I can relate to what you just said. We just signed a lease about a month ago on a new place, and I've already cut that deposit check. It's going to be a full build out, so we won't be moving in until about November if I'm lucky. But I'm so excited. I feel the same way you do. Like I envision, it's going to be more expensive than I have right now, but I'm going to be more excited about having clients come to the office. I'm going to be more excited about coming to the office. Because we're not in a place right now that we're as happy with. So, it's all about treating the people around you well and enjoying the ride. Sometimes there's ups and sometimes there's downs, but I'm just the kind of person that just if I get knocked down, I got to just get up and brush off and move it. So, I love what I do. I think just
That's
like you
awesome.
do, clearly.
Yep. Yeah, and you have to be like that to make it in personal injury. So Brett, just to kind of wrap things up, I'm going to ask you a fun question now because, you know, the podcast is called Care Sandwich. And the public is always dying to know what's my guest's favorite sandwich. So what is your favorite sandwich?
Oh wow, I guess I should have been ready for that, but I think I am. There's a place, I can't remember the name of it, but there's an Italian place here in Delray Beach, and they make the most amazing meatball Parmesan sub, you've ever had. And these days, I've been eating a lot healthier. I just took off 20 pounds. I'm trying not to put it back on. Yeah, thank you. But if I'm being honest with you, it's going to be that sub. That's the one. It's a meatball Parmesan sub. I love it.
Okay, that's awesome. So my boys love meatball subs. That's their go-to. We need to check that out when I'm in Florida. Well, Brett, this has been great. How can people get in touch with you again for a case? What's your website, phone number, all that fun stuff?
Absolutely. Our phone number here in Delray Beach, Florida is 561-630-0053. Website's brettsteinberglaw.com. Like I said, we're in downtown Delray Beach. My email address, if you want to write me directly, is brett@brettsteinberglaw.com. Even if you have a legal question for me and don't have a case to refer me, if you're another personal injury lawyer and you want to run something by me, I love that. I really do. I give advice to colleagues and they give me advice all the time. So I'm happy to speak to anybody that wants to give a call or reach out.
That's awesome. There you have it, guys. You can get in touch with Brett on his website, his phone number, his email. He'll talk to you, build connections. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. We'll catch you on the next one.